Hello my YouTube friend, this is Now Mechanic here, and today I am going to do my best to paint some rims. I have never painted no rims, but here down my way, I'm always asked, do you know how to restore rims? Do you know how to paint them? Do you know how to fix them? And the quick answer to that is no, because I have never tried it. So what I did was, I invested some money and I bought me two Toyota rims from the junkyard. They are really dirty, they are scratched up, and what I'm going to do is I am going to make them look as new as possible. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be sanding, priming, and painting. I'm going to show you everything we need, and we're going to do this together. And they're going to be black. Right now they are gray, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them in black. So let's see how we do. Wish me luck. First, let me show you the rims. Like I said, they came from the junkyard. As you can see, they are scratched up and dirty. Look how dirty they are inside. All around. They are very, very dirty. The inside, these are Toyota rims. I don't even know what size they are. Inside they are dirty. So what you're going to need for this job, what I'm going to use for this job, is going to be some sandable primer. I'm also going to be using some gloss black paint. I don't know, I like that gloss black spray can. Also, you're going to need some soap to wash them up. You're going to need some sandpaper. I'm going to be using 250, and then I'm going to jump to 600. You're going to need a brush to scrub them, and some water and a bucket. So let's start this job. So we're going to take the Toyota symbol, and to take the Toyota symbol, all you have to do is just press in, and they come out. Now that I washed them, I'm going to use this right here, foaming wheel cleaner. Now that we have washed it thoroughly, we're going to use a 220 grit, and we're just going to sand your wheel. It's going to be hard in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue sanding everything down with this 240. Make sure getting all the cracks inside. This is gonna be my hardest part in here. And what I'm gonna do, I'll be right back. Part with 220, but I noticed in here it got some big, like the paint is coming off. So I had to use, I'm using 100 grit, and it's sanding it down nice and smooth. So I'm gonna finish it with the 100, right? With the 100 grit right here, with the paint is coming off, and I'm gonna come back with the 220 and hit it, because this is really, looks really bad, but with this 100 grit, it looks like it's coming out perfect. It's looking better already. This is with the 220 grit, with the 100 grit right here, and then I hit it with the 220 to smooth it out. Now what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna use a sandpaper of 600. And this right here, I'm gonna use the 3N ultra fine hand sanding pad. This is almost equals to 600. And we're gonna do the same thing to the rim. What we're trying to do is smoothing it out for our paint job. I don't know yet if I'm gonna use 1000 grit yet, but this is like more comfortable, because you can hold it with your hand and go between the edges. You can see how those grit before took all that dirt and all those scratches out of there. Just take your time. It's a little work, but you can do it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sand it down with this ultra fine all around. You can use the 600, and make sure you get in between, and if there's any crack paint, you gotta make sure you take it out, because when you paint it, it's gonna crack right in there. So let me keep going with this, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna hit it with the 1000 grit, but I'm very happy the way it came out. So what we're gonna do is just, now we're gonna clean it up really good, and then we're gonna make sure that it dries before we can put the primer. So you would just wanna make sure you clean it. And I'm gonna show you once it's dry how it looks, and we're gonna start priming. For this part, you're gonna need a mask. Make sure you have a mask. And you can see a sanding it, how smooth it looks. You also want to tape where the air goes at, and we're gonna put prime. Remember, we're gonna go from gray to black. So I decided to use a black primer. And the first coat has to be light. I'm going to be using my Rust-Oleum spray. There you go. So the first one is a light coat. We're going to come back and do a heavier coat. Now we're going to go a little heavier. Make sure you shake your can well. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna tell you how many coats that I did of prime. So what I did was I put 3 coat of primer, and the reason why I put 3 is because remember I'm going from gray to black. In case when I'm painting with the black, if I miss, nobody will see it. They'll see the prime if I do miss with the gloss black. But this is how it looks. I could even leave it just like this. This thing looks nice. Look at this. You just gotta take your time, make sure you don't get no runs, and all you want to do is take your time and go little by little. And look, you want to make sure you get in here and in the middle here. You want to make sure you get all around. Make sure you put the tape on the air tube, and you put that primer all around. I also primed the back. You know, nobody gonna see the back, but just in case. But look at how nice it looks. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna sand it down with 1000 grit, and then what we're gonna do is paint it. It's coming out beautiful so far. So what we're gonna do now is gonna use a 1500 grit sandpaper. I was gonna use 1000, but I think the 1500 will give it a smooth tester. And what we're gonna do is take this primer and smooth it out. You don't want to go too hard. All you want to do is just make sure you just do even textures on it. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you get in between here, also in the top, because I noticed this is usually where we miss at, right in the gaps here. And we want, when we put the spray can in the paint and the clear coat, we want this to come out really, really nice, and it's looking nice. So all you have to do is just sand it down, and then we'll get ready for the paint job. Now we're gonna wash this really good. Also put some degreaser on it to take all the grease off. I'm using Totally Awesome. This works fabulous for me. This is the preparation now. So I'm going to finish cleaning it up, dry it up, and we're ready for the paint. So we're going to go with a light coat first. We're going to let that dry and come back. I waited 10 minutes. Now we're going to go with a heavier coat. I'm going to let that dry for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and tell you how many coats that I hit it with. And then we're going to come with the clear coat. So here go with the paint. I had to put about 6 coats of paint. It came out pretty good. A fly landed in that corner over there, and it was a big fly. And when I took it out, it created a hole, so I had to put a little bit more spray can in there. But look how it looks. It looks pretty good. The object of this is trying to get in here. I think that's where I found it the hardest, so trying to get in the hole and over here. But other than that, it's coming out good. I'm going to let it dry for 20 minutes, and I'm going to start adding some clear coat. So I'll be back. I'm going to be using the gloss clear, bond to plastic and metal. Second coat. Second coat. I'm going to give it a few more coats, and we're going to come back and look how it came out. They came out beautiful. Look at that. This is the way it was, like this, just like that. And I restored them to look like this. Even the symbol, look at the symbol. The symbol came out beautifully. The blended, the gloss. This is beautiful. Takes a little work, but it could be done. And you can save a lot of money with your rims. This is beautiful. So once again, this is Non-Mechanic. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below or contact me on nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. That is nonmechanic101@yahoo.com. And remember, if Non-Mechanic can do it, you can do it. Later.